Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hashtag Truth. Tonight, I have got a special guest that hasn't been in wrestling for a little while, but he's back, Mr. Ben Wright. Let's get him on the screen here. How you doing, Ben Wright?
What's going on, bud?
So, I hear through the grapevine that you won a match recently at TCW. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's my probably fourth time back to the Fairview Community Center in North Carolina, but it went okay. I mean, it was debut for TCW. Everything went great. Tim Toller's a great guy. Uh, Great talent, great show. It was fun, hanging out with people I ain't seen in a while. Some people I've hung out with before, but the best part about it was sitting backstage with Abel Adams talking with him.
Really? So, what'd you guys talk about, or is it hush hush?
Hush, hush.
Oh, okay. I know how that is, man. That locker room stuff, I try to get questions in there, but I don't ever want to be in the locker room, man. Everybody accuses me of being part of a show or something, but that's not me. But if I get a chance to ask, I'm definitely gonna, throw it out there. You never know. One of you wrestlers might throw me a bone one day.
Yeah, man,
So,
it ain't no big secret or nothing that we really talked about. It was just one of them things.
Chris Stewart says Ben did a great. I don't know what that. He
Meant to
did a
say
great.
great job, bud.
Yeah, I hope that's what I think he forgot job on there.
It's a
So who
typo.
did you wrestle at TCW?
I wrestled a guy named Rob, and
Okay.
uh, part of the Brotherhood. I've never heard of the guy, never seen him. He's a pretty big guy, pretty backwoods looking.
I saw
But
the pictures of the match. I mean, and by the way, I'm donning the T-shirt. I'm proud to say you were the second T-shirt I ever bought. So Big Country
yeah,
was first, and then you were number two. So
how come Big Country's got to be first?
well. He's the first guy you see when you walk in the building. You can't help it. Unless you're standing in front of him, he's a pretty big guy. You know what I'm saying?
Even if I was in front of him, you'd still be able to see him.
That is true. But yeah, that's just the way it went, man. And so you've been out of wrestling for a little while, man. What happened there? And what's that all about? I know you had a newborn baby. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I had a newborn baby girl. Her name's Anna Page. She's she's got a few problems with her spine. She's got two deformities in her spine, but other than that, she's pretty healthy.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook, and man, that makes my heart break. But she is doing a lot better, right?
Well, I mean, like she's hurt all day with her back. You can't lay her down on her back without her hurting some days and some days not. It really depends.
Oh man, and what we got here? Dump Truck wants another match with Ben Wright.
If you can make that happen outside of American Pro Wrestling, I'll do it.
There you have it. Outside of APW, he will make sure it gets done. Your daughter wants to be part of the show, man. I'm just telling you.
She's a, she's, she's a little one.
She's a little cutie, man. I've seen her plenty of times at the wrestling show. She's a little cutie. So it's been a while since you've actually been in the wrestling ring. How long has it been?
It's been 8 months.
8 months. So what
Eight.
happened 8 months ago that got you out of professional wrestling?
Honestly, man, I couldn't tell you. I mean, I was with EWF out of Forest City, and everything was going great. I was always, to me, I was being a fill-in guy, which I was perfectly okay with that role because I was helping out younger guys get over.
Okay.
I was perfectly fine with that and everything. And to me, I could get here, but I could never get here. And
Okay.
here's where I want to be. And I could never figure out how to do that. And pretty much to me, without really speaking to anybody, I would say a company, they'll use you to your full potential. And whether it's good or bad. But there comes a point in time where they got to cut old faces to bring in new faces.
Right.
To me,
So
that's pretty much what happened. I mean, unless I'm wrong, but I doubt it.
okay. So if EWF were to ask you to come back to wrestle again, would you do it?
I don't know. That I really don't know. Like I've heard so many horror stories through guys I'm good friends with. Just that they went other places and worked and got told, "Oh, well, you're not getting over here," which truly they are getting over. It's just not over as much as they want them to be. But I don't know. I mean, it would
The
be.
last match I remember seeing you in was a really good match. It was you and Big Country in a first blood match. That was the last match I remember seeing you in. Well, thank you. My daughter just came in and brought me a shake. How nice of her.
There's my shake.
Ben Wright said, "Where's his shake?"
Hey, you ain't getting one. Sorry, you're never right.
She said, "You're never right. That's why you're not getting one."
My license says I've been right since 1988.
There you go. There you go.
Say I'm your biggest fan, and then I'll give you one.
Okay, I got you. So, like I said, the last match I saw you in, I'm sorry I got interrupted. The last match I saw you in was that first blood match, and my God, man, it was a big crowd. Everybody, I mean, you guys threw each other. I mean, I remember the match like it happened yesterday. I mean, if my memory serves me correctly, he threw you into the big door that's in the back of the armory, and he also threw you into the truck back there or whatever that's parked back there. I mean, it was gruesome. You lost the match, but it was all over the armory. It was a really good match.
Yeah, that's, believe it or not, that's not mine and Country's first match. We've done that style match twice before, excuse me. I mean, but I have nothing really bad to say about Country. I love him to death. He's a great guy. And I mean, pretty much we just went out there and had fun.
That's what it's all about. That's what we love to see is wrestlers that come out there and entertain, man.
He bled first. He did bleed first. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Oh, he bled first, but you lost. Is that how it went?
I didn't lose. I won.
Oh, you won that match.
Yeah, I won that match because he bled first blood.
Oh, that's. Oh, well, my memory. Okay, I'm getting old. I take a lot of medicine, so you know.
Now everybody thought that I bled first, but that wasn't the case. He squirted ketchup on my head.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay, I got you. Chris Stewart says he'd like to have a match with you and maybe at TCW.
I'm down with whatever. I just, like I said, I pretty much with the whole wrestling thing now, since I could never reach where I wanted to be, I want to go and have fun.
There you go. Say hi, Connie.
That's all it really boils down to is now I've done the hard work. I've done a lot of things with wrestling. It's time to just hang out and have fun.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about, man. And I hope you show up all over the place. Hi, Fozzie. I hope you show up all over the place, man. You were one of my favorite wrestlers, I'm not going to lie, for quite a while, and then you just disappeared, and I never knew why. So that's why when you asked to be on the show, man, I was all for it. I mean, anybody, who asks to be on the show, I'm going to bring them on regardless. But I was especially happy to have you on here because I really wanted to get, this out in the open because a lot of wrestlers, good wrestlers, have a tendency to disappear. And you never know why. Sometimes it's family. Sometimes it's, work. Sometimes the wrestling organization doesn't have time to write you off. You just kind of disappear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they do that on WWE now. So
right. Well, WWE is a whole nother ball of wax. I could do a 3-hour show on what I think of WWE, man.
It wouldn't be that good.
WWE makes their money, but
They do. They're a multi-billion-dollar company, and
oh yeah,
they're going to continue to be a multi-billion-dollar company. It's just I wish that they would quit doing so much stupid ideas and focus on main stuff.
James Sawyer Brown said, "So what happened to your face?" I don't know what all that's about, but
I'm as beautiful as I once was.
oh my goodness. So tell us what's in the future for Never Wrong, Ben Wright.
I really don't know. I mean, it really depends on what comes about everything as far as wrestling promotions and uh, where I wrestle at has a lot to do with that. You know, I've reached out to a few companies with, hey, we'll hit you back later, but never get a hit back. So.
Well, I always loved your wrestling. You're a big guy. You wrestle like a big guy. Not a lot of top rope maneuvers is what I'm saying, but you get the job done in the ring, and I enjoy that. You know, the like I said, the matches with you in Big Country and back in the day last year when you were with EWF, you fought them all. I mean, I remember you were basically at every show, so you're a good worker. So I'll put that out there to all these organizations out there that are looking for a good wrestler to come in. Ben Wright will work. If you give him the work, he'll be there. So
yeah, I mean, whenever I first walked in the EWF's doors, I was at Action Pack Wrestling in Chester, South Carolina, wrestling, and Boomer Payne walked in the locker room, and as the night went on, it just kept building in my head, hey, I want to go work for Battle Zone. So I walked up to him. I said, hey, man, what would it take to go work at Battle Zone? And he said, prove that you want it. Prove to me that you want it. I went out there.
That sounds like Boomer Payne, because that's the kind of guy Boomer is.
I went out, done my match. I come back. He said, hey, be at Mooresboro this date. You're wrestling Jamie Lee. Went out there. I was the most hated for numerous shows where they wouldn't even let me talk on the microphone.
Okay, I got to put this one out there because I believe you know this person. Destiny Hawkins Wright wants to know what promotion you'd love to work for.
I'd like to work, for Fest down in Florida. I'd like to work for Ring of Honor, but I know the Ring of Honor won't happen just because, age has got to me. I'm a lot slower than I used to be.
Hey, man, I don't think age or slowness has anything to do with it. If you're still a gem in the ring, if you still got the charisma, man, there's been plenty of wrestlers in WWE that got over with 3 wrestling moves, but as long as they had the charisma, they went all the way.
That and Vince McMahon paying them millions, but that's a whole different story. I've done a lot of stupid stuff for one promotion growing up, and everybody always told me, stop doing the stupid stuff. Don't do it. It's not worth you losing your job if you get hurt. I never listened. It was the way of life.
So you went through a few tables and fell out of the ring a few times and did all the bleeding and things like that. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I didn't really start getting good in wrestling until I started going to training and working with Eric Anton and working in ring with guys like Nick Fury, guys like Boomer, guys like Shay and Will and Rob, guys like that. And then another guy come along, Aston Williams, he come along and helped me out a lot. He helped me not in the ring. He helped me out of the ring because at that time in my life, I was dealing with a lot of personal demons as far as I was addicted to pain pills and drugs and alcohol. And he helped me see my way through all that and get me out of that. So, I owe a lot.
Now, I've heard
a lot of guys.
Now, I've heard of a lot of wrestlers having that problem. Was it Was any of that wrestling related, or was it all things that were happening outside, or was it just a combination of it all?
It was it was the combination of everything. I got hurt. That led to a emergency room visit. Went to the emergency room. Hey, here's your script of pain pills. I was addicted,
Oh wow,
and
that's
it's a bad thing. And like I said, Aston come along and help me get through that. And then one day my wife, whenever we was just dating, she looked at me and she said, if you want to continue being with me, you're gonna leave everything alone.
that straightened you right out.
She said you need to focus on wrestling and being good in the ring, not pleasing everybody else outside of the ring, not doing drugs because you're not doing nothing but killing yourself.
Right. I think every wrestler needs a good support system, a good family, a good wife, kids, people that have to understand that a wrestler who really wants to be in the business is going to give it their all, not going to be home, is going to spend a lot of time training, a lot of time, in the gym. They're going to, you know, training takes a lot, and then, the travel and
Yeah, the
last of
travel.
all, there's next to no money in it in the beginning. So,
There's really not like I'm not afraid to say I was making $20 going to Forest City, but whenever you look at the number of people that you're paying at a show, to which, to my knowledge, everybody at EWF got paid.
right.
That adds up quick.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
20 here, 40 there, 30 there, 10 here, 10 there. I mean, that adds up real quick. It's like there's some promotions that don't pay. I mean,
Right.
that's just the way it is. You get a hot dog and a handshake if you're lucky.
Right.
And
And I've heard some promoters, Boomer being one of them, saying that sometimes it's okay to go there if you want to go there to train, or if you're going there and you're wrestling somebody that you're used to wrestling, their moves, they know you. For a training bit, it's okay to do that every once in a while, but it's not going to help. It's not going to help you move up in the world if you're not getting paid to wrestle.
it's not. It's not going to help you move out if you don't get yourself out there. Not so much getting paid, but you got to get yourself out there, get noticed, get looked at by the right people, and then that'll eventually lead to better things.
All right. Let me see. I had a question and I missed it. Where is it? Alexander Polk wants to know, who is Ben Wright's wrestling hero?
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair. Is that who you model your character after, or
I'm myself. I don't try to be nobody else. There could be 1,000 somebody else, but there can only be one you.
so do you amplify the you when you're playing a heel or a baby face? Do you amplify it, or are you just you all the time?
That's me. I'm a jerk in real life. Tell you that I am a jerk. Period.
I'm not. I'm not stupid
I mean,
enough to call a wrestler a jerk or agree with that. But
I can be polite and I can be respectful, but 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be a jerk
okay, well, but as long as you're respectful and everybody knows who you are, you get along with them, right?
for the most part.
Okay. Melanie said hello to everybody. Hey, Melanie, how are you doing tonight? If you guys have any questions for Ben Wright, feel free to comment. Feel free to ask. You will be part of the show. I'll put your comments up on the screen, and we're gonna sit here and talk to Ben Wright for a while. So, Ben, if you were called tomorrow and said that somebody from, you use Ring of Honor. Let's say Ring of Honor calls you tomorrow and says, "Hey, pack your bags. We want to bring you to the training facility." How long would it take you and the family to pack up and get ready to go?
Well, see, that's the thing. They wouldn't pack up for the family. I would be responsible for my family. And at the end of the day, if I'm not making enough money to support my family up there, I'm not going to go do it.
Okay, That's a good answer. Cause see, I didn't know that. Now, how far is the farthest you've ever traveled to work a show?
I've traveled to New Jersey, New York, Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, of course, South Carolina. Uh, that's about it.
So you've basically stayed in the southeast.
Yeah.
Destiny Wright asks, "What's your favorite match you've ever had?" She's asking some good questions. She's going to get you to talking tonight. You know that, right?
I would say my favorite match I've ever had would be myself versus TJ Boss.
Was it a singles match? Was it a gimmick match? What kind of match was it?
We've had several matches. It was a singles match, but yeah, he's by far the best match I've ever had.
Did he just gel with you in the ring, or did you guys tell a good story? I mean, was he a small guy, easy to flip? I don't. What made him your best match?
TJ Boss is no small guy, but he can work his ass off. I mean, just straight up, he can move for a big guy. You know, me and him, that's who pretty much I traveled with for a while, and then I had to step away because I had my first daughter. And
yeah,
I mean, he's one of those guys that I can move with, who I can, you know, get along with in the ring and everything.
Now, you've been asked. I'll ask I'll ask that question a different way. If you could wrestle somebody today that you haven't wrestled, that you want to wrestle, who would that be?
Anybody in the world.
Anybody. I mean, go straight up to WWE, Indies. I don't care. If there's somebody that you've always wanted to wrestle, who would that be?
Dustin Rhodes.
Wow. After that match he had at AEW, that's a tall order, man. That's somebody to really want to get in the ring with. I would agree 100%. I think you two would have a great match.
You know, I could learn a lot from someone of that high of caliber.
Oh yeah. No doubt about it. Now with AEW going around to the indies, you know, they've been spotted at a lot of indie shows, and not always the big time indie shows. They've come to the little, high school gyms and things like that. Would you change anything about what you'd go out to the ring and do if you knew that Cody Rhodes was watching?
No.
No?
No, you don't like my match? Turn your damn head.
There you go. All right. See, straightforward and to the point. I like that about Ben Wright. I've always liked that about you, man. So, I understand things happen in the family. I understand things happen with the job. But if everything works out, are you going to stay in wrestling as long as you can, or are you coming in for your last hurrah right now? Because you're saying you're kind of slowing down and your body's, giving out on you.
It's not really giving out. I lost my love for wrestling. That's one of the big things why I was gone. It's because I lost my love for professional wrestling. And there's one person that kept talking about wrestling, kept talking about him having good matches, and it's a guy that I work with. I can't say his name because it was gimmick, but
right. So I'm confused. I have to really say I'm confused. You're coming back to wrestling, but you've lost the love for the business.
No,
are you trying to?
I lost. I have, thanks to him. I found the fun side of wrestling again, the side that I love.
Okay.
Not the side that, hey, you got to kiss this guy's hind end, you got to kiss this guy's hind end to get somewhere.
Let's see. Jack Morgan said, I would wrestle you. You may not remember me, but I was at the promotion training when you were there and your wife was training also.
Is that at APW?
Jack Morgan, get back with us. He wants to know if that was at APW. So your wife trained also to be a wrestler? I didn't know that.
She did, and in the mix of training, she found out that she was pregnant with our first child.
Yeah, that'll put a stop on that really fast.
Oh yeah, real quick. She's
The-
actually pretty good too. You know,
so in other words, if you start spewing off at the mouth and getting your jerk on, she'll stop that in a heartbeat. Is that what you're saying?
she's choked me out before. I ain't gonna lie about it. We got in a little wrestling match. She choked me out. She got lucky.
Black Cat Johnson said white chocolate. I don't know what that's all about. Maybe it's a story you two know.
No, it's just eventually I'm gonna get my South Carolina license, and it's gonna be dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and white chocolate, which would be me, Sweet Dreams, and Deion Johnson.
Now that would be an assembly that I'd love to go watch because them two guys, them two, I'll say it, them two cats can really entertain an audience, man.
I love Deion to death. He's funny as hell. You know, Sweet Dreams is a
I
great
just
guy.
want to see you, Ben Wright, come out and dance like them two. That's what I want to see. That would make my day.
I don't know if I can dance like them. They're pretty good dancers.
Because they're gonna put you in that role. They're gonna come out with their long stuff and they're gonna dance and they're gonna make you want to do a lap dance on somebody, and it's just their style, man.
It is. Their style is to have fun, and that's what I like.
Jack Morgan said yes, it was at APW.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, I don't remember you at all. Like that was during that bad time in my life.
Well, maybe you have to get up there and maybe he'll have to come down and find you somewhere. Maybe you guys can get into a wrestling match together. Be kind of cool.
Never really know. You never know what you're going to get out of this business.
I'm learning that the hard way because I'm seeing that each wrestler, each interview, each the way they act, it's all different. You think you're going to come on here and interview somebody, and you're just going to, you write down 5 or 6 questions, and you think it's just going to go, but it never goes that way because something that you say or something that one of the fans says might just throw the interview totally sideways. So. But I'm learning that, and it's a lot of fun. So what do you tell all those naysayers who say that Ben Wright's washed up, that you shouldn't even come back to the ring?
I mean, opinions are like buttholes. I mean, hell, everybody's got one. It's just straight up. People that say that, get in the ring with me. I'll work just as hard as you, if not harder. And if not, it'll be so damn close you can't tell the difference.
There you go. I love it. So where is you talked about, how much you got paid earlier. Where is the most you ever got paid to wrestle in a match, and how far away was it?
It was
You don't have to be specific.
I believe it was Tennessee. Tennessee. We got paid 40. Me and TJ.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No, it's not, because whenever you consider the hotel room was $50, we got 2 separate hotel rooms, and then our food eating at Shoney's. We're way over budget there.
So you basically lost money. You didn't even break even.
Yeah, you don't even break even really in independent wrestling unless you're a high up in independent wrestling.
Alexander Polk said, "What would you say to kids or teens who want to step in the ring in the future?"
I think it's a good opportunity, to help kids out with, angry issues, to help kids out, just to get off the streets, period. Because, I mean, with everything, okay, baby, I'll get it for you in a minute. Everything that's going on in the world now, kids need a good influence in their life. And, I mean, maybe they could get it from wrestling, maybe not. You never really know until you try.
Melody Waters asked, Ben Wright, do you think your wife will return to wrestling?
No.
Is that a no, you won't let her, or no, she doesn't want to?
That's well, I mean, I can't say I won't let her. She's her own person. She makes her own decisions. I would like for her not to, because me, I'm working, 66 hours a week at work, plus coming home trying to take care of kids, and my hat goes off to her for that.
Right.
These two drive me crazy, and one's just been born. So
right. Now, I'll say one thing, and my wife can contest to this, whether she's working or whether she stayed home when I was working, that's just as big a job as anybody going out and working a 40-hour a week job, man. When you, especially if you got more than one kid, because you're stretched this way and this way. So I have all the respect in the world for housewives, man. I really do.
To a certain extent.
Uh-oh. I ain't going there, brother. I ain't going there. You can go there if you want to, but I'm not.
I'm just
I'm within throwing range, brother.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I just wanted to get back to the fun side of professional wrestling.
So give me a quintessential match that you would love to have, something that, that you've never had before, or maybe you have and you just enjoy doing it. And, what is the match that Ben Wright is perfect for?
Ben Wright versus either Big Country, TJ Boss, or Boomer Payne.
Okay, those are the wrestlers, but what kind of match? Just regular match, or is there a gimmick match that
you don't need gimmick matches. If you cannot get your shit over without a gimmick match, you don't need to be wrestling.
Good answer. That is. I've heard that. I couldn't tell you the number of times I've heard that, but there are some wrestlers out there though who can't get themselves over without a gimmick, without some kind of gimmick in the match, because they're, and I like to use the term cookie cutter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Let's see. We've got Jack Morgan said, spent 2.5 years training before I stepped in the ring. My choice, I think. Train and learn as long as you can before stepping into the ring. I'm 5+ years putting a smile on kids' faces.
And I mean, that's what it's all about. As long as the fans leave happy, they're going to go tell their friends, their family. They're going to come. If they leave happy, they're going to go tell their friends, their family. And that's how you put butts in seats. That you got to have a good quality too. I mean, of matches, right, as far as talent. If you don't have good talent, you're not going to have good shows, period. You're not going to draw nobody. You're not going to make any money. So it's just a waste of time.
Yeah. Social media and all that is good, but I still believe in, word of mouth, getting out there, hanging up posters, talking to people. And when the wrestlers get out there, when you're a kid, and I'm saying, 8 years old or younger, able to walk, able to understand what's going on, 5 to 8, you're walking around and a big, huge wrestler walks up to you with a poster. You're not going to forget something like that.
No, you're not going to forget it, but at the same time, I agree with you. You gotta get out there and do the work to get the reward.
I believe Frank Roof knows you. He said, Ben. So, Frank Roof, why would you say that? Now, look at that. She looks better than you do, man.
I know that's right.
She's cute. She is cute. Who are you today?
You don't talk? You tell them you're Owlette. You're going to leave?
No. She's shy. It's all good. She'll grow out of it if she's anything like her daddy.
Oh, yeah. She'll eventually grow out of that stage.
Chris Stewart said, I wish there were more places to run here in Asheville, North Carolina, venue-wise. That's That's y'all's. What's y'all's take on that? What's your take on not having so many places to wrestle?
I mean, you just got to get out there and find places. Call people. Hey, would you like to have a wrestling show here? You can profit from it. I can profit from it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
50-50 deal, get people in here because, I mean, that's just how it works.
Oh, I'm a fan, and I don't know anything about this. I won't claim to know, but from what I've been told and what I've heard, if you have a good promoter and a good booker working together, and the wrestlers and the wrestlers that they pick all come in and they do their part in promoting the show, you can have a show anywhere. And as you guys like to say, put butts in seats. But they all got to work together.
Yeah, it's a team effort for real. Like you got a booker who books talent, who probably also writes stories, and then you got the owner who shells out the money. I mean, honestly, and then that's pretty much his main role. Hey, you put the money out there, I'll get your talent, and in the end, I'll make you a little money.
I just got to ask you something before I put her next question up here. Did you pay your wife to come on here and put questions up here?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Because she's asking the best questions. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. She wants to know: would you let your daughter get in the business?
No.
Why not?
Because it's. I wouldn't. Just let's leave it at that.
Oh, okay.
I going on with it. It's too much.
I mean, we've got people every day coming on social media talking about the backstabbing, the talking, it's nothing new to anybody. I mean, if you say no because of what's going on in today's wrestling, I mean, that's all that needs to be said. I mean, we all know what it is.
I'm not saying, you know what? Let me withdraw my last statement. I can't even tell her no because she's going to be her own person. And if she wants to try something, I'll probably let her try it, along the lines as long as it's legal or safe. Wrestling,
now,
safe,
if she wants to become a wrestler because her daddy was a wrestler and she becomes good at it, or she really wants to work hard at it, will her daddy mentor her?
If I have time, yeah. I mean, let's just be honest with it. As much as I work, it's hard to mentor anybody, really.
Now, would you have certain people that you would have train with her, or do you have any? I mean, I'm acting like it's going to happen tomorrow, but it's interesting to ask questions like this because young people want to know this.
Yeah, if he was still around, I'm gonna tell you now, the best trainer to go to, and this is for anybody, the best trainer to go to is Jamie Lee.
Okay, he's still around.
Hands down, the patience that he has and the amount of talent that he has is just incredible.
Frank Roof said 30 years of putting a smile on Ben Wright's face. Chris said there are 5 places that had wrestling in there before. Now they don't do it anymore. So apparently he's talking about, or they want a couple $100 for the rent.
Well, I mean, people's going to want rent. That's just something that you got to pay. You got to you got to spend money to make money.
Right.
Period. I mean, if you don't want to spend the money, then you're going to waste your time. I mean, you could hit up these places, that run, let's see, like festivals and stuff, and see maybe you could get, a quick couple $100 there, but you're not going to make enough to really pay your guys. Therefore, you're not going to have quality talent. Therefore, no one's going to really watch the show. Therefore, you're not going to come back.
Right. I mean, wrestling, first of all, if you're going to be a promoter, an owner, or anything like that, you're going to start up a wrestling company. Money is the biggest. You got to have money for anything. I mean, money's going to pay the wrestlers. Money's going to pay for the ring. Money's going to pay for the rent. Money's going to, pay for all the supplies you use to get the posters out there. You're going to pay the wrestlers to spend extra hours getting out there and handing out posters. I mean, you got to have money first and foremost to make, like you said, you got to have it to make it.
Yeah. I mean, if you ain't got it, you're not going to make it.
Right.
I mean, you might, you know, you might catch a lucky break and find someone that's willing to go in and help you.
Right.
That's a big might.
Well, in the wrestling business, like we said earlier, sometimes it's a little cutthroat. It might be good at the beginning, but then people might have two different opinions about how something should be done, and then that's where you have problems.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I've seen that play out time and time again. You know, take just using it for an example. Two of my good friends, you know, went in. They asked my buddy to be the booker. He was being the booker. The guy that was doing all the advertisement and getting sponsors and everything didn't agree with everything that the booker done, caused a lot of backstage problems, and the booker left.
Cody said this guy named Money sounds like a hell of a guy. Leave it to David, man. Leave it to David.
And I mean, at the end of the day, that booker, you know, left and it went down.
Joey Godfrey said, honestly, it costs $1,000 a show with posters, rent, locker room, and equipment. So there you go, from one of the owners himself.
And that's not even like EWF's got great, you know, production, but as far as production, something like PWX, imagine what that cost.
Right. I mean, you got more lights, more. You have the big screen, you have the Teletrons and all that stuff. It's going to cost a lot more. Also, you're right.
Oh yeah. So I mean, it all depends on what kind of show you want to have.
Right.
Start out small, you know, maybe you can get enough money to have all that.
Right. Right. I mean, I could imagine if you have the big, you know, if you have like the big PWX promotion with the Teletrons and the rafters going up and things like that, you're basically going to pay somebody to put all that up, because I don't think wrestlers normally will come in there and climb, you know, 40 feet up in the air to put up, you know, stuff like that. I could be wrong, but I just can't see it.
The few shows that I went to PWX, the wrestlers helped with everything, setting up the ring, setting up the entranceway. They had one guy set up sound. And these are guys, as far as wrestlers, these are guys that's not on PWX show that was trying to get a spot. You know, guys like White Mike, I was at the Armory whenever he come and helped set up. We ended up having a 6-man tag and getting used full time with PWX. So I mean, it's about, you know, you show up, you pay your dues, you show people that you want to be there, and that's it.
David Cody said, to run a great show, it costs more than $1,000 just to pay the talent. That's I can't argue with that. I mean, if the better the talent, the more money you're going to pay. That is, you know, I mean, and you're going not only from better talent, but you're also going to experience, because you're not going to even, you know, they could have talent galore being a bunch of young kids, but you're not going to pay a bunch of young kids, you know, big boys money, as I would call it.
No, you're not. And at the same time, if you don't have, you got to have an equal locker room as far as the young kids and the vets. You got to try to equal that out as best as possible, because young kids is the future, and the vets need to be veterans and help the young kids out. And if they have a question, you know, not be a jerk about it. Just say, hey, this is what I think would fit better than this.
Right. And if they're smart, they'll listen to the vet and do it, because a lot of young kids, you know, think they have it all made. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just speaking from some that I've actually talked to. Some got it, some don't. You got to see how it plays out. Destiny Wright asks, your worst injury you've had in wrestling, and how did you get it? I think there's a story behind this one.
My worst injury in wrestling was probably whenever I cracked my sternum.
Ooh, how did that happen?
Training, trying new stuff, didn't do something right, and it cracked.
You did it while training, so uh, wow, you did something. I mean,
except for a select few as far as concussions and sprained ankles or busted up elbows or busted heads or whatever.
I mean that's every show, isn't it? I mean that's every show. Somebody's going to come out with something.
Yeah, well, yes and no. So yet again, there's a lot of give and take in that. But as far as the injuries, I mean, it's going to happen. You're in a brutal sport. I mean, let's just be honest. You're falling on. You got maybe an inch thick padding. Maybe if you're lucky, you have either 2x6s, 2x8s, or plywood, and then you have metal under that. So it's not the best thing to land on.
Right. It's got some give, but it doesn't have enough give for a big man like you for somebody to lift them over their head and thump them down. It's still gonna hurt no matter what. That's what I love about some of the fans who think that every bump you guys take, they're not hurt. That they're supposed to fall like that. I don't care if it's a body slam, just a simple body slam. You're still going to get a jar.
I didn't wrestle in 8 months. I went to TCW and had my first match in 8 months. And I woke up the next morning walking like a 95-year-old man would.
I wouldn't doubt that one bit. Frank Ruoff said, David Cody, my last show costed me $3,500 in talent alone. That's wow. That's a lot of money for talent. Frank Ruoff, I'm just curious. How many matches did you have at that show, and how many wrestlers did you actually have to pay?
It's not really about that. It's about how many paying fans you have.
Right, because, David Cody makes a point about this every time we speak about this. You got to know your selling point. You got to know how many seats out there you have to sell in order to just break even. And if you can't sell past that point, why bother?
Yep, you're exactly right. So I'm just curious, out of $3,500, what your fan base paying people was.
Yeah, what was the fans paying, and how many butts did you put in seats? Jack Morgan said he dislocated shoulder and still went 10 more minutes and finished the match. See, I've heard of a lot of wrestlers that have done that. But isn't there, and again, I'm a fan, I'm asking, isn't there a way that if you get injured in a match that you can get the match over with without further injuring yourself, without having to go through the rest of the match?
You could, if you feel that it's bad enough, you just pretty much let the referee know, hey, I'm hurt, and he'll relay it to the other guy. And, I mean, That's just being honest about it. Because at the end of the day, you're in there to protect yourself and really each other. And, everybody, like I said, it's a big circle, a big revolving door of helping each other out.
Let's see. David said, but a lot of times you guys on the shows that are veterans are holding back younger talent. I can give examples if I need to do so. I don't think you have to give examples. As a fan, I can tell you that when I go to shows, sometimes I see talent that I would love to see in the ring, and they're not being used, and the veterans are being used because, well, it's kind of a two-way street, isn't it, David? Because the veterans know how to tell that story and have all the, the ring knowledge. And sometimes the younger guys don't have that, but they do have the showmanship of the wrestling moves. You know what I mean?
Young guys have the wow factor. Some young guys, not
Yeah.
all. You take guys like, Rob, Killjoy. You take guys like Lance. You take guys like White Mike and Timmy Lou. You take all these guys
You didn't bring me the
and
straw.
you watch them and they're all different, but yet they're putting on 5-star matches at all these different promotions. And I mean, like, you could take a guy like James Drake.
Right.
He's putting on great matches.
Jack Morgan said, I popped it back in place during the match. That had to be painful, my friend. I'm just saying, I had my shoulder dislocated and I had to go to the doctor to have that thing put back in.
Now, let me ask you this there, Jack. How much money was you making? Because if it wasn't over $50, you're an idiot.
Philip Queen said, Ben helped bring me along and I worked him a month straight. Loved working with him. Great in the ring.
Yeah, I got forced to work with Philip, which I had fun with Philip. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's a good guy, I guess, at times.
He's a good guy at times. Okay.
Yeah, at times, but I respect Philip, and it wasn't our doing that we got put in a month straight. It was every single Saturday. Me and Philip. Why? That's not the way to book around that.
Frank Roof said, I've worked Ben several times and each night was like a night off.
It is. I like it that way. I like the night.
I don't know if Frank is saying he beat you every time he got in the ring or if it was just a great match. You can take that either way.
Either way, I don't really care. It's all about just having fun, and that's what I keep getting back to.
So are you gonna keep taking bookings and keep going as long as your home schedule allows it, your work and things you got going on at home?
Yeah, as long as my home schedule allows it, and I'll take bookings elsewhere.
He knows it too, kayfabe, brother. Oh gosh, I love it. Well, we've got a few more minutes. Do you guys have any more questions or comments for Ben Wright? Put them up on the screen. I'll be more than happy to ask him. Ben, do you have any bookings in the near future, or are you looking for bookings right now?
I'm not really looking. I'm just, I'll hit up a few places here and there. Mainly, I'm just going to be at TCW.
And when does TCW run their next show?
I believe it's August 3rd.
Do you know who you're wrestling yet?
Yeah, it's going to be myself and Jackson Sane versus the Brotherhood.
Uh-oh. You going to tag up with Jax? Is that the first time you've ever tagged up with Jax Insane, or?
Yeah, because, we've always wrestled each other.
Well, that's going to be pretty neat. I might have to come up to TCW and watch that one. That's going to be interesting to watch. Are you going to come out with the mask and everything, or?
No, that's his thing.
I know. I just had to ask it.
I'd come out dressed up as a turtle.
There you go. Frank Roof said, "Yep, I'm on my way to TCW, Ben." Uh-oh. I think Frank's coming for a challenge, Ben.
That's all right. I welcome all.
There you go. Well, man, unless you have anything else to say, I'm going to get out of here. It's been really nice talking to you. The fans have asked some great questions. Your wife asked probably the best questions of the night. I'll have to give her cahoots for that. I know she has to put up with you, so we all love her for that.
You don't understand what it's like living with me. I'm like a giant kid.
So she's got 3 kids to take care of. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly right. Like David Cody could tell this story too about the time that I sprayed sour spray in my daughter's mouth while she was sleeping.
I'm hoping your older daughter.
Yeah, my older daughter. She was only 2 at the time, though, but it was still funny.
That's mean, man.
And every time David Cody comes over to my house and watches a pay-per-view or something, he says I got it like a damn ice box in here. It's 68 degrees.
David Cody said Ben can be booked by contacting Independent Talent Unlimited.
There you go. There it is.
Okay, Ben. Justin Rhodes out.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
All right, man. We're going to say goodbye to Ben. Ben, thanks for coming. You always have an open invitation to hashtag truth, man. It's been a blast. Let's see. Wait a minute. What did David Cody say? Oh, my God, he did do that.
I didn't do that. Yeah. I put my daughter in a wash machine, too, whenever I was working at Aaron's. He can vouch for that one, too.
I hope it wasn't running.
No, it wasn't running. It was on the floor, and it didn't have an agitator in the middle. It was just a big open tub.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. I mean, that's not too bad. At least you didn't put the top down on her, did you?
I don't know. David, did I put the top down?
If you did put the top down, that's like being in a rabbit hole or something. That's pretty cool for a young kid. But no, spraying sour spray into their mouth, man.
Man, I do stuff all the time.
Frank Roof said, "I'm next, Scott. Do you want to be the next one on hashtag truth? Is that what you're saying, Frank? Because you're more than welcome to. Let me know, brother. Send me a message."
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Well, that would be really cool. All right, Ben, we're getting out of here. My wife's got me a to-do list, and it's almost 10 o'clock, so I need to get it done before I hit the hay myself. Like I said, it was great talking to you. Maybe after your next match at TCW, or if you get booked somewhere else, we can do this again, brother.
Well, just hope to see y'all at TCW, you and all your friends.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna try to make like I said, I'm trying my hardest this summer to make the rounds to every show within 50 miles of where I live. And for a small tidbit for people who don't know, Ben just lives up the road from me, so we're basically traveling the same roads once we leave the house. So, but
we don't travel the same road. You probably gonna go up the interstate. I go up Highway 9.
No,
I like going through.
My wife is my escort. I can't drive anymore. They took my driver's license because of all the meds I take, and she hates driving interstate. So we'll be riding the same roads as you.
Drinking and driving is what she was doing in your wilder days.
No, come on now, man. I don't do that stuff, man. To be honest with you, no. You want to get serious for a second? My mother was an alcoholic for a little while, so I despise alcohol, or any drug in my house. So that
happened with alcohol. Alcohol's good.
I think. Well, I'll be honest with you. Since I married my wife, we've been married, going on 12 years now, dear? In July, it'll be 12 years. And we might have a drink every, New Year's Day. We've had maybe 3 or 4 drinks during New Year's Day in 12 years. That'll tell you how much alcohol
my wife goes out to either Applebee's or Twin Peaks or something like that, I'm drinking.
Now you would think it would be the other way around if she's got to put up with you, but you know.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, big deal. 4 o'clock comes off early.
All right, man. Anytime you want to come on, you know you got an open invitation. Frank Roof, hit me up as soon as we get off the podcast on Facebook here, and we'll set up a time for you, my friend. Ben, you have a great night.
You too.